Evolution. It's a very large number of plants and animals, as you can see, that are found on the surface of the earth. How many varieties of plants do you know? And how many varieties of animals do you know? Or else have given species. Supposing I give you a species name, say dogs. How many kinds of dogs are there on the surface of the earth? That is large varieties found, isn't it? Several fossils that remains, that means the remains of the hard parts of the organisms which were existing in past, they are found in the surface of the earth. The branch of the biology, of the science, biological science, that studies all these aspects, that is considered to be an evolution. The word evolution, in fact, is obtained from the Latin word, evolver. That means to expose or to disclose. The complex organisms like ourselves, the human beings is considered the most complex living organism that have been evolved, that have evolved through extremely simple, extremely primary organisms which were found on the surface of the earth through the process that is called as evolution process. But it's a gradual change. It's an extremely slow process and it takes place successively. There is no drastic movement that we directly evolved from a particular living organism like say bacteria. There was a theory put forward like this, that all the living organisms have come into existence right into the beginning in the same form. But later on it has been proved that the present day living complex organism has not been specially created but has evolved from the pre-existing living organisms. Due to the successive series of successive changes that took place into the primary plants or into the animals, the primary, the lower animals, during the course of lakhs and lakhs of years, new species, they started evolving. The new species came into an existence during the process of evolution. And let me tell you, it's a continuous process, natural process. It is constantly going on. From the day that the earth was formed, on the earth life was formed, from that day till today. And not even only till today, it is going to go on further than this also. And that is the process of evolution is a must for obtaining large amount of the variations that we observe in present day world. Acquired characters. The characteristics of the living organisms which are not hereditary but are developed in the organisms in response to say environmental changes, then those types of characteristics are considered to be the acquired characteristics. Changes for acquired characteristics occur not in the gametes, that is not in the reproductive cell, they occur in the somatic cell. No change occurs in the DNA. DNA remains same, of the germ plasm, of the gametes, of the reproductive cell. No change in the DNA is observed in the acquired characteristics. The individual is not born with these characteristics, but in response to the change in the environmental conditions, these characteristics have been developed. Also, these characteristics are not inherited from the parents to their offsprings. Some of the examples of the acquired characteristics that we can give is that supposing from a body of a rat, a tail is being cut off. Do you think that the offsprings of that particular rat will also be tailless? Obviously no, isn't it? Supposing you know how to learn, you know how to swim, or your parents do not know how to swim. That means you have developed that characteristics. So, that is also considered to be an acquired character. Learning languages of other than the own mother tongue, that is also an acquired characteristic. Skating on the road with the roller skates, that is also an acquired characteristic. To have a scar on the face, now that is not inherited in the next generation, isn't it? And that is also an acquired characteristics. Reduction in the body weight, if someone is going for the zero figure, then that person is considered to be an ullu. Let me tell you, zero figure is a myth and don't fall for that. But reduction in the body weight due to starvation, that is not also considered to be inherited from the previous generation to the next generation. So that is also an acquired characteristics. Hereditary characters. These are the characters of the living organisms which come into existence as a result of change which are occurring in DNA of the parental sex cells. Remember, in acquired characteristics, the change took place in somatic cell. But in hereditary characteristics, the change takes place. If change has occurred, then that change takes place in the change of the DNA of the sex cell. The gene in the parental sex cells undergo changes. Maybe gradual or maybe sudden changes if suitable to the environment. And through this sexual reproduction, their altered genes are obtained to the offsprings. These particular characteristics become hereditary in the next generations. Some of the examples that we can list out for the hereditary characters, that the skin of the color of the human being, skin color, that is a hereditary characteristics. That means the children of the Caucasoids, white people, will be obviously having fair skin. Children of the Negroids, that is darker skin, will have a darker skin. That way. Color of the iris of the eyes, this is also a hereditary characteristics. Form of the hair, that is whatever the line of the hair, tight, curly, wavy or straight hair, that also can be considered as a hereditary characteristics. Height of the pea plant, then color and shape of the seeds of the given plant or color of the flowers, even the position of the flowers where they grow, they are all considered to be the hereditary characteristics. Supposing a colony of red beetles that is living on the grass, green colored grass, and the gene which is responsible for the red color of the beetle that mutates, that changes suddenly or maybe successively but in few generations only, then that gene is transmitted through the sex cells in the sexual reproduction. So what is going to happen? The set of green colored beetle by hereditary will arise among the red colored offsprings of the beetle. And because of that particular reason, the whole set, the green colored beetle, that becomes a hereditary characteristic. And that is transmitted into the subsequent generations. So in the given habitat, we shall have now two different sets of beetles. The beetles having red color and the beetles having green color also. Not only that, the hereditary characteristics is extremely necessary, is inevitable for the process of evolution.